This is Amy Bearpaw Piper with Standing Rooted. Today, let's learn a little bit about our body's energy field. The energy field is at least partly made up of electromagnetic energy that our bodies generate. We have some instruments that can sense that energy. Our bodies and minds can also sense that energy, but sometimes we're not very attuned to it. So even though we're always responding to it, to the energy field around us, we're not always aware that we're responding to it. Some of us are more attuned than others, just like anything else. If you go into a room with a group of people and then you interview each person afterward, you can learn pretty quickly and easily what people are mostly attuned to. Some people were attuned to relational dynamics. Some people were attuned to their own fears and insecurities. Some people were attuned to the way that the room has been built. Someone who's a carpenter, for example, or a contractor. Another person who's in the line of decorating might have really noticed details of the specific color schemes and how space and shapes were used. Some of us are attuned to very subtle things, like, for example, the subtle energy field around us. And if you're one of those people, you might have noticed certain things, like you might have noticed colors or a sense of light around people or plants or even objects at times. You might notice that you can feel kinesthetically. You can feel a sense of pressure as someone approaches you, as your energy feels touch. You might feel a sense of magnetism, being drawn towards someone, or of aversion, being magnetically, feeling a sense of wanting to push against. Almost like you're sensing a resistance, almost physical level resistance between you. So if you're one of these people who are attuned to subtleties, you may also be what we call an empath, someone who's especially attuned to the emotional level of the energy field. And if that's the case, you might even perceive energy fields through your own emotional body. You might have noticed that sometimes you feel emotions that somehow don't quite feel like they're your own. Like, I walked into a room and I suddenly felt a deep sadness and grief, but I'm not really feeling sad or grieving anything specific myself, so that seems odd. So perhaps there's someone in the room, or has recently been someone in the room, who is grieving deeply, and that electromagnetic impression has been left there. And as an empath, meaning that you have that gift of being subtly attuned to that level of electromagnetic energy or energy field, you might find that you actually begin feeling that emotion. That can be a truly wonderful thing, and it can create a great deal of a depth of compassion and caring for others. When it overwhelms us, it can create fatigue, exhaustion, frustration. It can even keep us wanting to push to isolate and keep ourselves separate from others so that we don't get overwhelmed by energies that aren't our own. That can also be true for other kinds of awareness of energy fields. Some people might, if their third eye or their sixth chakra is very open, they might consistently see things that seem superimposed on the material reality that others are perceiving, and it can be confusing. So let's just notice that, or remember that throughout the day, your energy field shifts constantly. It's shifting in response to your inner experience, which is brought about by both outer events and by things that are happening inside of our own body-mind. However, each of us has a way that our energy tends to behave. So there's a range. Perhaps sometimes my heart is wide open, but there's a tendency for it to be partly shut down out of fear or hurt or confusion. So if our experience of our own energy isn't exactly what we would like it to be in some way, it's a very valuable thing to know how we can shift our energy field in the moment, and also how we can shift it enough that it becomes a new tendency, a new homepage, a new way to be most of the time. Something that feels better, something that takes us toward our goals rather than away from them. So chakras are what could be seen as energy organs. Chakra literally means Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, it means wheel or disc. The chakras correspond to 7 nerve ganglia on the spinal cord. They also correspond to certain states of consciousness, certain developmental stages of life. They correspond to body organs and systems, to colors, to specific ranges of sound or notes, and more. Together they form a profound formula that helps us to move toward wholeness. They hold a template for transformation. There are so many ways for us to approach transformation. And working with our energy fields and our chakra systems is one very profound way to approach transformation. So I approach this kind of meditation, a chakra clearing and healing that we're going to do in a moment, in a way that's guided by what we might think of as higher wisdom or a divine heart. I'm not going to be doing anything to your energy field. It is possible for one person to shift another person's energy if that person is willing to have it shifted. However, it's not the way that I work. I'll simply be offering gentle guidance that helps you focus in ways that assist your chakras to become cleansed of anything that might have damaged or wounded them, to charge them up with the perfect kind of energy. Chakras are kind of like little batteries, and they want to be charged, and sometimes they run down. If they're disconnected from the source of life, then certainly they begin to run down. Perhaps we connect with source from time to time in our own various ways, but then as we move through the day, we're using up all our energy. So what we'd like to do, ideally, is first of all learn how to charge ourselves, each one of our batteries, and then ultimately learn how to stay connected to the source Imagine if your cell phone is connected always to the source of its power, then it really doesn't run down. The battery remains charged even while you're using it. Most of the time, this clearing and charging can feel really wonderful. Sometimes it might feel a little uncomfortable or alarming because when we're used to running undercharged, being really full of energy can feel strange, and it might even feel scary, especially if you have experienced some damage in that chakra or that area of life that has caused you to feel confusion or misunderstandings. You might find yourself wondering or even worrying about how you're going to use all this new energy. So just let your battery charge gently like a soft illumination. Your higher wisdom is going to align very sweetly with what's right and best for you in this moment. And so we don't need to charge you up beyond, way beyond your comfort level or too fast. It might be that you'll start to receive a little more charging than you're entirely comfortable with, just for the sake of stretching your capacity for energy, for health and well-being. But we're just pushing that boundary a little bit. So if you need to take it slow, feel free just to ask that this be a slow process for you. This won't be your only opportunity to clear and charge your energy system. You can listen anytime. So go at your own pace and get comfortable with a little more charging. And then later on, you can stretch a little bit more. As I said, most of the time, this is a very comfortable process that enhances your feelings of well-being. Occasionally, something may arise that's uncomfortable or maybe even upsetting or alarming. If you should feel any discomfort, just return attention to your breath. Just breathe gently in and out in a comfortable way. And just focus on your breath for a bit. That helps you to ground so that you can feel safe. If something comes up that's really upsetting you, then it's probably something that you need some outside help with. So maybe you want to stop the meditation in that moment and turn towards someone whom you trust. You're always welcome to contact me at my website so that I or someone else can help you to understand what's happening and to clear anything that needs to be cleared so you can have a wonderful experience of charging and clearing your chakra system. Having said all that, you're most likely to really enjoy your experience today and find many unexpected benefits. I hope you will. Let's get going now. So let's begin with our heart chakra. Many people do begin with the root chakra. The root chakra is down between your legs. You also have chakras in your feet that help you connect with the earth. And that's a great place to start. I like to start with the heart chakra. And the reason for that is that the heart chakra, the heart is the system that processes emotion. Just like our brains process thought, and our digestive system processes food, and our lungs process air, the heart system processes emotion. And when we understand that and understand the very simple process for activating that system, then we're able to process emotions so that we get all the nourishment and the benefit from that emotional energy. Emotional energy feeds us just like food and oxygen. And it also clears that which is toxic. So just like your digestive system feeds your body with the nourishment of the food you eat and clears the toxins and sends them out of the body, the heart does this as well. The heart also receives the divine qualities that we really need to function at our best, to feel at our best, and to maintain health and well-being. So for these reasons, I like to start with the heart chakra so that we're activating that system to help us process any emotion that might arise with the other chakra clearings, and also to help us receive more fully the qualities that are available with each of the other chakras. The heart chakra is called the anahata. It's usually associated with the color green. It's connected with the heart and the lungs. The heart chakra is that which we call the central heart. It transcends opposites, yin and yang, masculine, feminine, ego and unity, mind, body, and spirit. It is the connector between your higher heart and your lower heart and all the aspects of your being. The physical heart itself sends a lot of information to your brain. It informs your brain of what to do. And as I've said, it processes emotions effectively for nourishment and for receiving emotional and removing emotional toxins. It receives the divine qualities that we need, qualities like compassion, strength, knowledge, empowerment, insight. Ideally, the heart allows us to love deeply, to feel compassion, centeredness, balance, and harmony. So to activate our heart chakra, our heart system, just put your hand on the center of your chest if you like. I find that's very helpful. It's not necessary. And breathe. Imagine that you're breathing right into the center of your chest. And as you breathe out, you're also breathing out from the center of your chest. And you can be breathing in and out of the front of your chest or the back of your chest or all the way around in a sphere. However you imagine it, however it's easiest to imagine it, is perfectly fine. So just breathe in. Breathe out. And see if you can remember a really wonderful memory. A time when you felt absolutely beloved and you felt strong and you just felt good. Maybe that's in relationship to someone in your life, a favorite grandmother. Maybe it's a pet that leaves you feeling that way, or a child. Maybe it's nature, or being at the top of your favorite mountain, or at your favorite beach in front of your hearth. With your jammies on, relaxed. Whatever memory helps you to feel good, just think of one where you just feel really great. And then imagine that you're breathing that memory in. The way that you felt, the things that you saw around you, maybe it was the glow of someone looking at you with love and pride, compassion. Maybe it was the softness of your pet's fur as your pet purred or gazed at you. Maybe it's the sound of a river running by your cabin. And just breathe in this really good feeling. Just like you're breathing in oxygen, you're also breathing in what's coming in with that breath is also the goodness of this memory. And see if, while you're remembering this memory and breathing it into your chest, if you can feel happy about this memory, just happy that you have this memory to call upon. Grateful for it, appreciative, just so appreciative that you have this memory to call upon. Appreciative for this person or this place that you're remembering. And then you might imagine, or maybe you notice, that there's a green light. And it's as if it's coming into your heart, but also as if it's emanating from the center of your chest. And it's just like it's growing and it's growing. And this gentle green light begins to envelop your body. You notice that it's in every cell of all of your tissues and all of your skin, not only of your heart, but until it's in every cell of every part of your body. Receiving this green light, bathing in this beautiful green light, and emanating just organically this beautiful green light. If you notice the image that goes along with our meditation, you might see that this person is bathing in a sort of an indigo light. And you'll see that that light is emanating from his forehead because this is his third eye, his sixth chakra, his brow chakra is emanating. And that chakra is associated with an indigo light. And so just like that chakra is emanating indigo, imagine that that light is coming into and emanating from the center of your chest where your heart is. And the light is green. Whatever color green you see or imagine. And part of what's happening here is that your heart is starting to get charged up with the exact kind of energy that it most needs. Maybe you're noticing it coming in gently and softly a little bit. Maybe it's really coming in strongly. And let it be whatever's comfortable for you. And also the qualities of the heart are coming in with this light. Qualities like compassion, connection, strength. Sometimes in our culture, people talk about the heart as if it's sort of a sticky sweet sort of thing. But the heart receives and emanates qualities like empowerment and strength and wisdom. The heart is a very, very powerful organ. Physically, it pumps so much blood through so many miles of arteries and veins. And the system of the heart processes powerful emotions and receives powerful divine qualities. Excellent. So just see if you feel any differently than you did when we started our meditation. Perhaps you feel a little different in some way. And just notice. Maybe you feel physically different, emotionally different. Maybe your thoughts have shifted. And then let's move to the root chakra. Again, the root chakra is located between your legs. And then there are chakras on your feet which help you connect with earth. The root chakra is called the Muladhara. Its color is red. It's connected with the element of earth, meaning that which is material and solid, as well as the earth herself. It relates to physicality, our very physical being. And as such, it can give us a sense of connection with our bodies and with earth. It also gives us a strong sense of connection with our ancestry and our family. Sometimes we have a weakened or broken sense of connection with our families for various reasons, and with our tribes, our ethnic origins. And that can become a problem for us. And so if you have had that happen, then just notice that your root chakra might require a little bit of attention to help it heal, so it can sustain a full charge. We don't know what healing will look like for you. It doesn't mean that you have to come into a relationship with abusive people or people who don't accept you. But we can have healing. And sometimes we think healing means something specific, and so we're reluctant to heal. But if we recognize that the healing is for us, and it will take us where we need to go for our own health and well-being, for our sense of security, so that we feel secure and rooted in the world and free to move about. Then we can open cautiously to the idea of healing and charging our root chakra. The root chakra is also related to survival instincts. So that sense of fight, flight, or freeze. Ideally, our root chakra will bring us health, a sense of security, prosperity, and a dynamic presence. So in order to invite healing, notice if any kind of memory arose that, as we talked about the damage that can happen to the root chakra, if any kind of memory arose, or if a relationship with a particular person arose, or perhaps a fear about surviving. And if so, just for a moment, this is really literally just for a moment, just let yourself notice how it feels, what it's like, what you see or hear or sense in relationship with that bad moment or in that damaged relationship. And this is simply part of setting our inner GPS. Our destination is health, well-being, a sense of connection, in the world, a sense of being rooted in the world. That's our GPS, that's the destination that we're going to, but we're noting that there's something between ourselves, where we stand now, and the freedom of that healthy, charged, clear root chakra. And part of what's in the way may be hidden inside that poor relationship dynamic, or hidden inside whatever kind of bad memory we have that came up as we talked about this. So it's like as if you're going to your beautiful favorite beach, but along the way you realize that the water has risen and there's a swamp, and you're going to have to cross it to get to your beach, and there's a crocodile. So these are things that we're going to, we need to walk through this part in order to get to the beauty beyond. So wonderfully, one of the ways that we can begin doing this is to just let ourselves focus on the root chakra, that area right between your legs. And notice, you can allow your breath to come up into that area of your body. Just imagine that your breath is going right into that ball of light. And notice that the light is red. It's a vibrant red. And just keep breathing that color into that part of your body, and you'll notice that all the cells in that area of your body start to light up with this vibrant red light. And notice if you feel uncomfortable with that color, because that might indicate, again, some kind of damage that you suffered that you can now begin to heal. So again, just letting yourself get charged with this color at a rate in a way that's comfortable for you. Maybe it's an intense, vibrant red that just emanates fantastically around your body. Or maybe for you, you need it to be a gentle, light red illumination. So just keep breathing and noticing that red, that gentle red or that vibrant red in every cell of your body, coming into and emanating from your root chakra and surrounding your entire body mind, just as in the image that you see on your screen. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in the nourishment that comes with being rooted in our world. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out any toxins that have been left by bad experiences in the past and how you perceived those experiences. Perhaps ideas or beliefs that you were left with that might have been damaging to your life. So let's move now to your sacral chakra. And that is just below your belly button. It's called a svadhisthana. It's an orange or a peach color, and it's related to the water element and emotions. It's related to your intuition, as intuition comes to you through emotion. Your sacral chakra is connected with sexuality and reproduction, with raw emotion, with creativity, with the innocence and the trust of the child. As connected with romantic love and with partnerships. Our sacral chakra ideally connects us with others through feeling, through desire and sensation and movement. So let's just recognize that there's a tenderness. There can be a tenderness here because this is the area of innocence and trust. And when that innocence and trust has been betrayed or damaged, then we can feel very tender and raw. So let's just honor that this is the place where our tenderness most arises. This chakra is sometimes called the lower heart because it is our place of connection and partnerships with others. It's the source of intense emotional experiences. This chakra is connected with the psoas muscle as well. And for those of you who are body workers or have received any work in the psoas, you'll know how very tender this place can be. Remember that innocence is not ignorance or stupidity. Innocence is actually tremendously powerful, which might be a surprise to you. But innocence provides tremendous resilience so that we really bounce back from things. You'll notice that children, especially those who haven't been damaged, can bounce back from things very resiliently. So when our innocence has been damaged and hasn't yet been healed, it's been destructive to our well-being and our ability to restore ourselves to balance and harmony, to trust. So healing our innocence is of utmost importance for our health and well-being. If you have ever thought of innocence as meaning foolishness or ignorance, please let yourself begin to consider now the power of resilience and that innocence is a divine quality that brings that resilience. Trust also can come from innocence. It's a very powerful quality because trust allows us collaboration and teamwork, helping us become stronger and more effective than we ever could be alone. Trust allows us to feel safe, so our nervous system can relax and be balanced, allowing it to restore itself. In that state, the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches of our nervous system exist in harmony. And when that happens, our chemistry and hormones balance. Our muscles relax, and our mind becomes quiet and alert. That allows us to rest deeply so that our body and mind can heal itself undisrupted by fear. Because the fear triggers an imbalance in our nervous system. And when we're stuck there, we never get a chance to restore ourselves. So just let yourself become aware of any damage that might have been done to your trust or innocence. That might come up as a feeling of emotional pain or as a memory of a time or many times when you felt betrayed or abandoned. When someone you trusted, who was supposed to be there to care for you, caused harm through neglect or violence, or perhaps simply by not honoring your deep personal truth. That wound may come up as a sense of numbness or a flood of feeling like anger, hurt, or grief. So if anything arises, just let yourself notice it, not needing to be overwhelmed by it, just touching into it gently, not needing to fix it. Just sort of acknowledge it like you might nod your head to a person on the street. And then let's bring your mind back to the chakra itself, just below your belly button. And begin to breathe as if you're breathing right into this part of your body, right into the center of your body below your belly button. And as you breathe in, you might notice that there's an orange or a peach colored light that is coming right into. It's like a ball of light is being activated right in that location of your body. And there are streams of light coming into and charging up that ball of light. And there are streams of energy coming out from that ball of light because it emanates. As it receives, it also begins to emanate just naturally, organically. It's like a fountain. A fountain that's consistently, constantly being fed. And so it never goes dry. And so it just flows over naturally. And so the qualities of the second chakra, of the sacral chakra, of creativity, of sexuality, of dynamic energy, of innocence and trust, of partnership, those qualities just begin to overflow and positively affect people around you effortlessly. But mostly, you're being filled with those qualities and with the healing energies that can overcome pain and damage of past experiences. So just keep breathing into that area. And then breathing out from that area. The area just below your belly button. And see if you're beginning to feel different in any way than you did before we began our meditation time. Now let's shift to your solar plexus chakra. Your solar plexus is associated with the color yellow. It's associated with your mental body, with thoughts and beliefs, with your digestive system, and with your sense of egoic self, who you are in the world, who you perceive yourself to be. It's called the Manipura. And so if you're not clear on who you are in the world, if you often think, I'm not sure really who I am, or if you find yourself trying to push against others to recognize you, to recognize who you are, or if you find yourself shrinking to become small because you don't feel safe being yourself, then you may have some damage in this area of your body. And when I say that you have damage in this area of your body and your energy field, I don't mean that the whole the whole of the chakra is damaged, I mean that there may be some damage in this area. So you don't need to be overwhelmed by the wound or the damage. Just notice that it might be there. And for most of us, there is some, perhaps, damage to each chakra, or at least some way in which we can invite more health and well-being into that chakra. So if you have a sensation of shrinking from being yourself, or feeling like you're having to force yourself to be bigger than you really are, really to be different than you feel like you are, to be someone else, to try to act like someone else rather than knowing who you are. If you have a memory of someone saying or doing something that was deeply, deeply hurtful about yourself, hurtful in a cruel way. Sometimes we can be hurt by something, but it helps us to grow. But in this case, this would be something that hurt you deeply and caused damage. If you have any memories like that, and just let yourself touch into that for a moment. Again, we're not going to focus on the hurt and the damage. We're just noticing it for a moment, because we're noticing that there's something getting in the way between yourself and the destination you want to reach, which is a clear, strongly charged solar plexus chakra, so that you have a clear sense of who you are in the world. And that self emanates naturally and organically, so you can just be exactly who you are and feel confident and comfortable and humble all at the same time. So just imagine yourself breathing into the part of your body that's just above your navel, just above your belly button. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in this clear yellow energy. It's just like sunlight. You're breathing in this energy that's just like sunlight, and it's just burning away anything that is not right and not good for you, anything that's been hurtful in the past, anything that's been left in you from those traumas and hurts. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out the toxicity of anything that's caused hurt, that's left you with a belief that's causing problems for you, that's keeping you from maintaining a clear, highly charged solar plexus chakra. You know, any appliance that you have, or any digital, your cell phone, you want it to be able to hold a full charge so that it can serve fully, right? If it can't hold a full charge, then it runs out of steam quickly, and we're constantly having to run back and charge it again. Or perhaps it behaves in a weak manner. It can't really fully express itself in its functions. And that's what happens for us. Also, we're electromagnetic beings. And that we need to be able to hold a nice battery charge in each one of our batteries or solar plexuses, so that each one can serve its function with strength and clarity, and do it in a way that aligns with our personal values. So just let that yellow sunlight just come right into that area right above your belly button. And notice that all the cells that are in that area begin to light up. It's as if there's a circle of light right in the center of every single cell. And this sunlight is coming in and just charging them up so that they're naturally and organically just beaming with joy at being themselves. And then all the cells of the body begin to light up in the same way with this yellow sunlight. And then it's as if you're in the center of this joyful yellow sun and you're just yourself. You don't even have to know who you are, you just are. And your true nature is just emanating all around you. As naturally as the sun beams in every direction and warms and lights the world. Your true self, it just beams in every direction and it warms and lights the world. If you've ever met a person who seems to, it's like you just want to get close to them because it's as if they're just so warm and they're so natural and they're just, it's as if you just feel like they're beaming sunlight and you just want to stand in the light. That's what this is like when this chakra is full and clear. So now we're back to the heart chakra, but we've already activated that one. And remember, that's a green light. And the green light is already lit up in your chest. And in every cell of your body now, you have the red light and the orange and the yellow and the green that are just beaming from the center of light in every single cell of your body. And your entire energy field all around your body itself and all around your body are lit up with all these colors. Red, orange, yellow, and green. And now we're going to add 3 more colors. We're going to add blue because our throat chakra, and that is literally in the center of the throat, is associated with the color blue. And that's the range, the frequency of electromagnetic light that it needs in order to charge itself. It's the frequency of electromagnetic light that it emanates into the world. This chakra is known as the Vishuddha. It's associated with communication and receiving nourishment, also with offering nourishment. It's associated with your ears and hearing as well. So when we think of the words we speak and the words we hear, that's associated with this chakra. When we speak words that are true from our heart, and we speak them in ways that are empowered, but also kind, that don't need to be mean or ugly, but are true and clear. When we speak that way, our throat chakra is operating beautifully. And it's clear and it's well charged. When we feel that we have to push our ideas on other people, when we feel that we have to speak harshly or unkindly or in gossiping ways, when we refuse to hear another person and their truth because it doesn't mesh with our own, or when we're afraid to speak our own truth because perhaps we haven't felt honored and heard in it before. All of these are disruptions to the throat chakra. And so just touch into that if you notice any of those disruptions in your own system. Or if you remember a time when you were particularly deeply hurt by something, by someone's words, the way that they spoke to you, the words, the tone. If you've had trouble receiving nourishment through food or breath. Sometimes if we have trouble breathing, it can relate to the throat chakra, although it could also relate to other chakras like the heart, which is connected with our lungs. But sometimes if we have an eating disorder where we're afraid to eat, where we may eat and then throw up our food, where we can't take in the nourishing words of others, where we just can't seem to receive the nurturance that another person offers through their kind and gentle touch, or the kindness of their eyes, or their tone of voice, then we might have some damage in our throat chakra. So just touch into for a moment that which might have been damaged, just noticing it for a moment. And notice that we're setting our GPS for a clear, charged throat chakra, full of a beautiful blue energy. And just let yourself breathe as if you're breathing right into the center of your throat. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in as much nourishment as you can receive through this blue light, this kind of blue light. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out any toxicity that might have been caused by harm done in the past. Harm can be done by the way others speak, but it can also be done by the way we speak. When we speak harsh words to another, it can harm us because the energy coming through is toxic. So sometimes we harm ourselves with our own words or tone. We harm ourselves when we are no longer able to receive nourishment emotionally, spiritually, physically through food and air. So if we're troubled by these problems, just let yourself imagine that this beautiful blue light is coming right into your throat and healing, healing, healing deeply without even having to know what that healing might look like or what it might bring. Just know that it might bring you freedom and more nourishment than you've ever been able to experience before. Perhaps open you to new relationships that are so lovely with people who speak gently and kindly to you, respectfully. Perhaps relationships that you've never known before. And so the blue light is emanating from every cell in your body, especially your throat. Your whole body is just bathed in this blue glow because the light is coming into you. This blue light is coming into you, and it's also being naturally emanated outward as you're filling up with this beautiful blue. And so we move to the third eye, the brow chakra, which is in the center between your eyes, the center of your forehead. Sometimes this is called the third eye. It's also called the ajna. It's the center of certain kinds of intuitive awareness. It's also the center where we can receive and express divine love, where we can sense the celestial angels singing their joy in creation. Recognizing the beauty that's in creation. When this chakra is clear and charged, we can see what's beautiful in creation, not oblivious to what's painful or ugly, but just so aware of the absolute beauty as well. And being able to love the love, to feel divine love for every being, to wish for all sentient beings to be enlightened with a sense of loving themselves, of being loved, and able to love others with clarity. The third eye is sometimes called the upper heart, where our divine love is born and is expressed. This is associated with the color indigo. It's associated with our eyes. And so the color of indigo is now entering, just as in this image you see in front of you, this person's brow chakra is open. It's receiving indigo light and emanating indigo light in all directions. And the person's entire body is surrounded with this indigo light. And you'll see that the other colors are also there. The greens, the yellows, the reds, the blues, the purples. This person's energy field is being fed by every single ray of light, feeding all of their chakras at one time, so that their whole system is being charged. Every battery pack is being charged at the same time. And then the batteries are automatically beginning to emanate that energy outward as well. So let's move to our final chakra, the crown. The crown is called the Sahasrara. It's associated with the mind of the divine. It's associated with bliss. It's associated with our central nervous system. The crown chakra is above the brow chakra. It's the very top of your head, emanating upward. And it's associated with white light or purple light. Sometimes gold or silver light are also associated with the crown chakra. So whichever of those that you see or connect with the most, imagine that light emanating in, down through your head, the top of your head, and down through your entire body, moving through all of the chakra systems, charging them all with this light, the light of the crown, the light of bliss, bathing your entire nervous system, your entire body in this light, this divine light, this bliss. And you can imagine yourself just breathing that through your body. As you breathe, it's as if you're pulling that energy magnetically through your entire body, through every cell, just the way that your heart pumps the blood through your veins. And this happens easily, organically. And your whole body is bathed in the light of the crown and in all the other colors. And so the image that you see on the screen, imagine that your body mind is now much more like this image, perhaps, than it was when we started. And see if you notice any kind of shifts or changes in your experience of yourself. From when we first started. And you might relate to the image on the screen, or you might not. So if not, you can just drop that. But if you do relate, it might help you to connect. So now you can begin to bring your attention back to what I call normal awareness, the way that we usually walk through the world. But as you do, bring back the knowledge and the awareness that you have gained. Bring back the charging. And notice how much you have felt. Maybe you're much more charged than you were when you began, maybe a little more. Maybe you're a little clearer than when you began, maybe much more. But just allow yourself to notice any differences and to carry this with you as you move into the world. This has been a rather extended version of a chakra clearing, balancing, and healing. And so you can go through this process in more abbreviated ways as well. But you might really like to do this one at intervals, because it really can create some deep healing. And you might notice some significant shifts happening in your life spontaneously that appear to come from nowhere. Different kinds of connections, new kinds of people coming in, people who are more resonant with your being, more confidence, more humility, more compassion, more strength, more feeling of connection, more trust, more innocence, and a willingness to play, more sense of being rooted in the world, feeling connected with people who you might think of as your tribe. If anything came up with that you need some help with, if you'd just like to ask some questions or offer an experience, offer your experience, then feel free to contact me. You should find my contact information and website available. And I will be glad to connect with you and answer questions or offer assistance. I wish all blessings to you and to those whom you care about the most. This is Amy Bearpaw Piper with Standing Rooted.